101, artist track, session 102. 1, the artist track is 102. 101 is great.
It's Adriana Lira Brazão. Born and raised in the United States of America, box checked yes as a U.S. citizen, student at UMass Amherst, Massachusetts on my license, English as my first language, yet I still carry an accent. Not from the tip of my tongue, but from the color of my skin, the pattern of my hair, the flavors of my food, and the rolling of an R in my name. The greetings to my grandparents translated from hello Nana and Papa to Ben Sava y Ben Savo. Born and raised in the United States of America, yet I still don't feel American. When I catch my friends looking at me like I have a third eye because I spread ketchup on my pizza, I don't feel American. Picanha instead of hot dogs on grill days, team pasta dinners with seasonings of butter and salt, getting side eyes in public for speaking Portuguese, being one out of 2 colored people on a sports team, I don't feel American. I don't feel American, yet I'd still never trade being able to talk shit about the person next to me in a different language. Or to grow up having samba lessons in the living room, having Nelson Freitas playing in the background of Dad's Sunday cleaning days. And I'd most definitely never trade my curls and brown skin to be white and blonde just so Jake from 6th grade could like me back. Sometimes I question why my Portuguese is a little too broken, why I can't respond to my aunt and uncles in Creole. And I'll continue to dwell on what it feels like to be completely Brazilian or Cape Verdean, but I'm done questioning whether to introduce myself as Adriana instead of Adriana. Born and raised in the United States in America, and for the first time, I'm okay with not feeling American.
I need somebody. I saw your hand first. Go ahead. Come on up. Big leap. Leap, L-E-A-P. Yes, ma'am. All right. So I have a task for you. I will give you $20 right now if you can connect all of these dots with only 4 lines. You can't lift up your pencil or your marker, and the lines have to be straight. You can't fold the paper. Those are the only rules. All right, so this one, completely new deal. If I told you that you don't have to stay, I never said that you have to stay within this box. I only said that there were 3 rules. It had to be a straight line, it had to connect all the dots, and you can't fold the paper. So you automatically assume that I have to stay within this confine. But if you started here, and you went down here, and maybe up here, and then over and through, try that. That would connect all of them. Start up here and go down here, and then come through these 2 to up here. Well, you'd have to connect them if we did something like that. And then you went over, 3, 4. Then it connects all of them. It connects all of them. Thank you. I'm gonna still you up I got you. So this is the second rule that allows you to operate at that level of genius. Don't ever confine yourself to what looks like or what you perceive like you should be confined into or what other limitations people put on you. If you see a box, never think that you have to operate inside that box. Never think that your ability has to be decreased to the limitations of that box. You are creatives, right? You guys are blessed with gifts. The way that your mind works, I study the brain. The way that your mind works, just to do spoken word, the amount of activity that has to happen to do that. In order to draw, to paint, in order to sing, the amount of activity that has to happen. And then the gifts on top of that you have, it's a natural talent, and then you put intention with that as well. Never operate inside of anybody's box.
All right. I think it was really interesting seeing his perspective on not just, Black people, but just life in general, how he's like, tomorrow is worth $1 million. And I think that's crazy because every day, I may complain about certain things and I may, but I get to live, and that's crazy. Like, not everybody gets to live. Literally not everybody gets to live the way I do. Not everyone gets to be me, and I think that's something that I take for granted. Like, I love being me, I love being black, I love being amazing.
I heard someone last night that would really touch me. Like, fear holds us back from doing what we really want. And like Zaire said, like, getting up there and coming up in front of people you don't even know and just speaking what is really like true to yourself, it takes a lot of grace and power. And his whole track and how he moves and how he carries himself is very powerful. And it's just, when you walk into a room, like you said, when you walk into a room, you envision what you want to see, and that's what you get back to you. And that was really powerful.
Having coordinated this whole thing, I'm actually most proud of seeing it come to life. This was a brainchild, a vision of mine that I've had for quite some time now. And ever since I actually got accepted into my PhD program here at the UMass College of Education, in the Social Justice Ed program, one of my ideas was I wanted to utilize my research and utilize the things that I am talking about, reading about, and creating scholarly research on within the field of arts and education and activism. I wanted to create this conference as a resource, as a think tank, as an experience for people who are in the community, people who are on campus, off campus, to come together and to look more deeply into activism, to think more provocatively about art and how it's used, and particularly spoken word poetry, because that is my form of art, and how spoken word poetry and the arts in general can bring people together, how it can incite activism, right? I wanted thought-provoking measures to be taken in order for us to think about how we can come together and consider social change and address societal ills. This is the Black Artistic Freedom Conference, right? And so I wanted to think about, like, how are we doing our jobs to center Black life and cultivate Black voices on this campus, right? And how are we inviting the community members into that? And how are we inviting the artists into that conversation? And how are we thinking about how, as educators, we are working to disrupt systems that have been working to create oppression, right? And how are we working to just continue to fight for change, right? How are we standing on the shoulders of our ancestors and people who came before us? And how are we utilizing that energy, and how are we utilizing the things that have happened before us in order to think about, like, what are we going to do for the future generations, right? How do we honor the 7 generations who came before us and the 7 generations who will come after? And so the Black Artistic Freedom Conference is a culmination of all of those thoughts, ideas, actions, and this was the first time we did this, right? And, you know, at first it was just a thought. It was just a thought. It was just a discussion. It was just a meeting, right? It was just an application towards funding, and now it is this.